Live. Yes, it's good. We made it, and our learned friend is in the green room waiting for us. And shall we just say, before we start this live stream, if you want to hear anything at all about the news or anything remotely conspiratorial, forget it. Not tonight. Tonight is fun night. Something about jolly old England, which is where me and my guest were born. And yes, it's going to be cool. So, bearing in mind, our guest is currently serving a ban for just being honest, which is terrible when you consider this once great nation that we live in. And, it starts to get you down a bit about that sort of thing. But, that's not the British way, that's not the English way. Stiff upper lip and all that. So, yes, we are going to crack on. And I'm glad that well, look at that. We got nearly 700 people here already. And we've only been on for not even 1 minute. So, we are going to say hello to our friend, bearing in mind he is on a ban and he shouldn't really be here, but I don't care. It's my friend, and here he is.
Yes, the 23rd. That's right. We'll do it on the 23rd at 3 o'clock. Have no one. Oh, excuse me. I've got to go.
Oh my God. There he is, Mr. Band from YT. I
Yes.
told you.
You mustn't say who I am. I am
No.
in disguise tonight.
There he is.
Nobody will know who I am.
He's a mystery man over there, and he's sat in front of a fire too.
Oh, yes. Wait. Blooming thing is supposed to be up in flame. Raymond, would you light the fire for me? Just cannot get the staff anymore.
Oh, sorry about that, Klaus.
I haven't been cut off yet. I think we've got away with it.
Good heavens, sir. But look at this.
It's me.
Look who it is, boys and girls.
What?
Look, he is not allowed to say anything on YouTube, but here we are doing it live right now. Like I've said, you guys, there's always a way. And here is our friend, Richard. How cool is this? Yeah, you better get off, brother. You're going to be sweating like a
pig. Now catch a flash. Oh.
I'm so glad one of them buttons didn't pop off.
Yes, me too. Oh dear.
Wow. Yeah. So how's it been then for a bit of a break from the old the regular job then?
Well, not really. To be honest, sorry about the glare and everything. I thought I had the lights all sorted out, but they've got a bit funny. Yeah, I've been still busy. I've been still doing everything, but of course I've just not been able to upload it. I can't even comment, I don't think, or pin or do anything. I'm just sort of, which is a shame. Oh, it's roaring now. Look at that.
Whoa, look at that. Good job you got that coat off inside.
Yeah.
Pardon me about my coughing, by the way. I'm still trying to shake this wicked thing, whatever's going on. But yeah, we carry on because we are both English, and that's what we do. Isn't that right, sir?
It is, absolutely.
Yeah. We're down, but we're not out.
All of that.
Yes. Tally-ho, jobs for the boys.
I say, old chap, how wonderful. Well, hello to all your lovely viewers, by the way. And I have to say a big, big thank you to all those wonderful viewers who emailed me to say they'd heard. And big thank you to you also, Darren, for sort of telling everybody that I haven't just gone very lazy, that it was actually that I got kicked off. And people have been so kind and emailing. They've been delivering food. There's lots of parcels. There's all sorts of books to read, chocolates, flowers. And well, maybe they didn't go that far, but they did. They were very, very lovely. I'm just going to adjust this light because I don't like the glare.
No, you carry on, mate. No, that's absolutely fine. So yeah, I mean, I thought it's the least we can do, because if you can imagine, if you're a content creator like us two, if you're uploading content on a regular basis, like Richard was probably doing at least 2 videos every day, if all of a sudden, one day there was nothing, some people would say, is everything okay? Day 2, day 3, day 4, we're up to day 7. You can imagine what would happen. So I just felt as soon as people were aware of what's happened, because basically they just literally, you know, virtually cut your tongue off, so you can't really do anything at all on your channel. And in fact, some people were saying, "Oh, he's not banned; his channel's still there." But of course, but when you get a strike, you literally have no control whatsoever for 7 days. You can't reply to comments, you can't pin a comment, you can't put nothing in your community tab, you can't delete a video, you can't do anything at all. And it
I
must
think
be seriously
yeah,
frustrating. You
the
know.
annoying thing is that you can't tell people that you are banned for 7 days. People just, think you've stopped posting or that you've
Yeah.
gone away on holiday or something like that. And you just want to say, look, okay, I've been banned. I'll be off for 7 days. I'm still working on stuff, but I'll be back.
Mm.
But I don't understand why they can't even let you do that. And of course, all the time you're not putting up any videos. If you're depending on the videos to earn you a living, and that's why they do it, I suppose, because they're trying to kick you where it hurts.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, when we spoke on the phone the other day, it was there's two things they can do to people who talk like we do on our channels. And one of them is to limit or just cut their funding whatsoever. That's the first thing. Then if it carries on, then they'll go after people's characters, which is a real blown about punch, in my opinion. So yes, from looking into it, I think you get 3 strikes, and once the third one is done, you're either gone for good or you have 3. But anything happens again, then you're gone. It's something like that. So yeah, to my knowledge, I've not had one strike.
Oh, you'd know about it. You'd know about
Yeah,
it if you get it.
yeah, I can imagine. It must be a bloody nightmare.
And then you're on the
I've been
naughty
shadow
stool
banned
for
though.
90
That's weird.
days.
Sorry, what was that again?
You're on the naughty stool for 90 days because that
Yes.
strike stays for 90 days. After that,
Mm.
it goes back up and you've got the chance of 3. So in those 90 days, you could get a second one. And I've had another video removed, and I'm rather
Oh,
hoping that that's not a second strike. I haven't said anything, but it's just I noticed a second video had been removed. And again,
wow.
they're all the interviews. All of the videos they've removed are the
Mm.
interviews. So I probably am only going to do the monologues now and just send
That's
people to the
interesting.
interviews on Rumble or Odyssey or wherever.
Yeah, because the same sort of thing happened with a good friend of mine who I done a live stream with not so long ago, Jason Brashears over at Archaics in Texas. And they literally banned him, just like yourself, for a whole week. Couldn't do nothing with his channel whatsoever, based on a video with an interview with someone remotely controversial, should we say, over a year ago. So for them to just go through your channel, find something which has a conflict of interest regarding their terms and conditions, to literally impose that 7-day strike, that's just horrendous from where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
So when this happened to you, and I learned it happened to Jason, I thought, well, the least I can do is to look into it for myself, because it does appear that they are coming for people who are trying to use the term wake people up, expose truth, etc. So yeah, very, very bizarre, I would say.
Yes, I mean, it's funny because once I started talking about the stuff that I was talking about, I was aware that the channel could just disappear.
Mm.
And you watch people, don't you? And you think, golly, they're really going for it. And surely that is beyond the pale for YouTube. And then they keep going and there's no problem. And you think, well, I'm below that really in everything I'm saying. And then you go, wait,
Yeah,
how did that happen?
I know, and do you know what? I know I get a lot of people who comment and email and stuff who are big fans of Russell Brand. As some of you might know, that I'm personally not, but like I say, we're all entitled to our opinion. So my question is, how can he say what he says with the following that he's got, but you don't see him getting strikes and bans and things like that? So straight away, I smell a rat there. So he has help him from my standing, and we don't. Hence, otherwise, we wouldn't have the issues which we are having. I've been shadow banned, and I've had all sorts of issues with my channels, which I've gone over already. And of course, You know, you're in YouTube jail, I think people call it, for a week. But here's the thing, like you said, and I didn't know this until I looked into it after, you know, when you phoned me up and told me that the 90 days, like a probationary period, isn't it? Where, you know, you seriously have to watch and say what you do within that 90-day period, because if anything mirrors what has happened to warrant the strike from their eyes, bosh, strike number two. And like you say, 3 strikes and your YouTube channel is deleted permanently, which is, oh my days. I mean, we've been.
I think it's a very strange setup, because if you've managed to reach over one of their what do you call it, their targets, you know, so that you get, like, you've got that lovely play button that I saw the
Yeah,
video, you got your play button. So you have to get 100,000 people to get to there, which means you're quite a serious channel to get that far, and people have engaged with you, and people find the channel useful, and obviously they've come and they watch and blah blah blah. You would think that if you've overstepped the mark a little bit, that, you know, you've infringed the rules and you don't know quite why, either somebody from YouTube would just give you a quick tinkle and say, hello, can I speak to Mr. Vobes? You know, you've done it. Do you know why? Can we go through it so that you understand where the thing is, and you could ask them, say, okay, I'm talking about the truth stuff and freedom, and, you know, that's obviously important. Where is it that you've set the thing? What can't I do? Where? Because it's so vague.
yeah.
And so none of us really want our YouTube channels taken away. We don't want the strikes, and it would be so much helpful if YouTube were able to engage with you, because when they see you're a serious channel and you've been going for a while and you've got to a level that they're I mean, I've got one of those play buttons in the post apparently now.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, so, you know, it's on its way, but they might grab it back and say, we'll have it back.
Return to sender, pretty sharp.
So don't send it yet.
Oh bloody hell.
He's on the naughty stool.
No, but you know what? That's a very valid point that you just raised there, because, you know, to get to 100,000, I mean, it's taken me personally 11 years from the birth of my channel.
Exactly.
And I believe that it's grown organically without any extra help or advertising or paid subscribers or whatever it is some people do. Salad, all very. Do you know what? I haven't eaten. I've forgotten to eat. I literally had a cooked breakfast around 10 o'clock, and that's it. And I'm thinking, I forgot to eat. So I'm going to have a bit of a load up after this, I think. So yeah, thanks for doing that. I thought you was a friend. Oh my God, I'm not really hungry. No, I'm only joking. I'm not hungry at all, actually. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I would say that it would be warranted to be courteous on their part to inform you directly, rather than just literally allow a computer program to press a button without any, you know, I mean, I gather you appealed and they just turned it down, and, you know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I appealed on both of them. Well, the first one was a violation, and that was for the interview I did with MP Andrew Bridgen in January, but that was a week ago.
Yeah.
So they suddenly found it, you know, it's as if they've been going, let's have a look, see what we can find. Oh, here we go, that one, let's do that one. And then 2 days ago, of course, the next one. And then they also took a third one off. So they've deleted 3 videos, but I think I've only got the 1 strike so far.
Bloody hell.
But if they're going through my channel, for all I know, they'll find another 4 or 5, and by morning it'll be gone.
So at the moment, then, you haven't really got any sort of power to go through videos and remove them or make them private.
I can't even remove the ones I might think are a little bit dodgy. You can't do anything.
Well, if any of you guys are watching out there, pray for Richard, because I'll tell you what, man, that's going to be a tough gig, because I, like myself, I've got loads of content out there talking about possibly controversial stuff, and I'll be in the same situation. You know, you're stuck. You can't do anything to sort of give yourself a good possible outcome in a situation like this.
The annoying thing, Darren, is that there are all these other platforms,
Yes.
And you think to yourself, okay, YouTube, we'll go elsewhere. It'll be fine. But they're all great in their own way, and I'm not knocking the platforms. It's just it's it's like, I don't want to say the company name really, but it's like Amazon. Amazon just makes it happen. They've just sort
Yeah.
of, when if you want to deliver it, it's here the next day and there's no problem, And YouTube, apart from everything else, it does it really well.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go to these other, they're all just a bit clunky in a different way, and it's, the quality isn't necessarily there. They take longer to upload. Some of them have cryptocurrency associated with it. Some of them is always this sort of email verification every 2 minutes, and whereas YouTube is just so easy. It's just the thing with
Yeah.
YouTube is that terms and conditions are very stringent,
Yes.
and
I
you
know. Yeah. I agree.
so
I've had the same problems because since this situation occurred, I took it upon myself to open up an account with Odyssey, Rumble, and now Brightian, I believe it's called. Yes, there's probably others out there, but it's Odyssey I found so easy. I literally synced my whole entire YouTube channel with 700 plus videos, and it took 3 hours. I've done exactly the same with Rumble, and to my knowledge, it's between 5 and 10% complete. And this started on Tuesday, and we're on Friday. And I've been having the same issues which you've had. I've created an account with Rumble, and I've got people following there. I believe I've got one video, but there's no channel. I believe you have to do something to start a channel, and whether that migrates or not, you've had similar issues. We was talking off
yeah.
air about this, haven't you?
When you, for those people who don't know YouTube or how it works, on YouTube it's quite simple. You upload your videos, you can make them public, you can make them private, and you can make them unlisted, but they're just there, and that's easy. With something like Rumble, and it's nice, and I'm not, please don't think I'm knocking Rumble at all. It's just,
Mm.
it's confusing when you're so used to YouTube. Um,
Yeah, I
but
know.
you kind of have this area that you upload all your content to, which is, it's almost like a green room in a way. It's almost like it's your database of stuff, and then you can have other channels based on what's in your database.
Yeah,
But people start following, they have access to your database, so they start following your database. So I had one which is just Rumble users Vobes, and you get all the videos. And then I set up a channel which was Richard Vobes, and then people can follow that channel. But so then I've got people following the channel, which is the same content as in the database, and I think, oh, just follow the database then, because it's
yeah,
like, it gets very confusing because you've got two sets of followers, and I don't really understand why. All of
yeah,
this might be because I'm a novice when it comes to these other channels, and I'm
yeah.
just so used to YouTube because it just seemed to be the easiest way. And so
Mm.
I'm definitely not knocking these channels, and it's great to have them because I may be dependent on them.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
but what it's like when it's like if you're just used to driving, say, a Mini, an old Mini and a manual, and then you go to an automatic. Everything just seems very odd and different.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I totally agree. I mean, it's like you may have remembered over the years working on YouTube like we do. All of a sudden there'll be a big change, but they
yes,
never tell you about it. It's forced upon you.
you
And
just
if
get it.
you're,
It's like, oh my
yeah,
god,
and you're
how do
thinking,
you
oh
do
my
this?
God, everything's in a different place. I mean, do you remember the day back in YouTube when you could do private messages and then you could send um, a message, an email to all of your subscribers in one go?
Yes,
Those days are way gone, and I wish they'll bring them back because the amount of people who want to send me a message privately, they can no longer do that thanks to YouTube, which is why it's imperative that you have at least another form of contact, i.e., an email address perhaps underneath, so that can happen. So yeah, there has been lots of changes, and again, when you look at alternatives other than YouTube, like Richard and I've been finding out, Odyssey's fantastic. It's so streamlined, and everything is so clean and easy to understand. But again, it's different, and it's going to take time to fully understand it and put in the effort in to actually gain some experience from how it all works properly, to get it to run how we run our YouTube videos. And that's just one channel. I've got to
Yeah.
do the same again on Rumble. I mean, it's supposed to be great. At the moment, I'm having a complete nightmare with it. Just don't really understand it. It does seem clunky. Brighteon, I've not really spent much time. See, this is the issue. It needs time invested into those already free other channels, extra platforms, as well as, God forbid YouTube decide to do another change to how it all works. And then we got four things to juggle. Whilst, this is how we make our money. We get views and we get ratings and all of this sort of stuff. And, some of the kind people out there that send donations in. And all of a sudden, if you haven't got that base, you seriously need to be at least have an account open somewhere else, never alone, getting it all fully operational, as it were.
Yes.
So yes, I thought it'd be cool just to give the viewers, as it were, a bit of an insight of what has been going on in the last few days. And I can only begin to imagine how much of a pain in the backside it's been for yourself, mate. Honestly.
Well, my diary is still full with interviews because
Mm.
I tend to have an interview in the afternoon every day, apart from Sunday when I'm wrapping my phone up and hiding it somewhere. I'm going to put it in, I'm going to put it in the S. I might put it in the oven here. This is well, I think it's not cast iron. It's steel. So
that looks like one of those Faraday cages.
Yeah,
a warm one.
The signal will never get in there. As long as I don't light the SEO in the evening, forget all about it.
Yeah, that's true. Do you know what? I've got the old phones.
Oh,
if you
have
remember
you?
those. And yeah, they're absolutely fine. They all work. And I've got four in total. One of them's charging up. So we got three here now. Basically, it's one for each member of the family and a spare one. And I had the insight or foresight, should I say, to get these years ago when there was readily available, very affordable. They've all got their own.
I'm gonna see what I've got. Hold on.
Yeah, no problem at all. So yes, guys, this is one of the things I forgot to mention on the video, which I'd done just before we commenced this live stream tonight, was trying to get yourself. These are 3210s. I prefer the 2G old ones, Nokia, because the build quality is exceptional in these particular models. Now, anyone is free to look into the history of Nokia. And let me tell you this, because I've worked in the electronics sector for 20, 30 years. And let me tell you this, their anti-static assembly procedures are on par. They're absolutely on point. They're far better than any phone manufacturers globally, especially back at that time. Hence, they still work. And yes, the 2G network will absolutely work because, like I said before, Network Rail's infrastructure is currently on 2G. And you have to do your due diligence on this because the phone network provider 3 does not support 2G. So you need to see which providers still support 2G. Absolutely do that. I've also got spare batteries. They've all got their own chargers with them. And SIM cards, you just get a pay-as-you-go SIM card. You pay it with cash, you put some credit on there, and you are good to go. And I'm just going to be using those for the 3-day period, which I'm going to literally run my phone out flat so it's completely gone. The notifications have already been turned off. 6 layers of tin foil, and it's going right in the middle of the house, away from windows, and I'm going to forget all about it. OMG, we're talking early 90s there, sir.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a BT one. Yeah. Look at that. Oh my God. No joke. You got the same.
The thing is, I haven't got the chargers for any of these.
Oh man, you can get them on eBay. I think 32 Nokia chargers. Yeah, they'll go for about £5-10 something like that. Oh, BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to say. I've literally got about 100 phones from all different generations, etc.
An early.
Yeah.
Still taped up where I split the screen.
But it will still work.
Probably if I could charge it. And the last one, my favorite one.
Is that a Sony or a Samsung?
Samsung.
Oh yeah. The Razors one, V3 Razor, is it?
God knows.
Wow, God
So
knows.
if I could get a charger for that, I'd be very happy because the screen is old, really old school. It's not a smartphone screen.
Yeah,
And you had to do, texting is just an absolute nightmare.
it is. Yeah, that's one of the things.
Tiny. Yep. Hello. Yep. How buy, sell, no buy, buy then, sell that. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh my days. Do you know it reminds me of all Star Trek films, doesn't it? Beam me up.
Yeah.
Buddy. Remember those?
I can't hold it, Captain. I can't hold it.
Oh,
So yeah, that's my collection of phones that I've never got rid of, but they're all useless because I can't charge them up, and the batteries are probably as dead as any. So I'm hoping none of those suddenly wake up.
yeah, but yeah, do you know what? That's another thing, isn't it? I mean, like I said, I'd sorted all mine out years ago, and you just do a little bit of research, find out the model numbers of your phones, the makes, and you just literally what I done was I went on eBay, found the cheapest price, try to get original batteries if you can, or look into how many milliamp hours. I think it's 1,500 something for the Nokias we got, and then you can get some batteries, find the chargers. They're really cheap. Sometimes you can buy one of these with a spare battery and the charger second hand. Some of them still got them in a box. You can buy them for a tenner. So straight away you've got a spare phone, and then you've got your charger and a battery.
You get SIMs for them.
You can get SIM cards. Yeah, they're pretty much the same now. But the only thing is you use the full size SIM cards on those. Where the ones we use now, you've got to break them out and have that tiny little micro SIM.
Oh right. So okay, I didn't know that.
No, you can absolutely go into any supermarket, 99 pence, give them £1 coin, and you get one of the SIMs and chuck them in there. But like I said, do some research. The last time I looked into this a few years ago, that the provider free, they don't support it, but others do. I think O2 definitely do.
What did you say? That's a 2G. This one.
Yes.
Yeah.
2G, in my opinion, is probably the best one to go for because there is no chance of GPRS like you do get with the third generation phones. So yeah, they are really basic. But to be honest, you can charge them up fully and you can leave it there. And guess what? About a week later, it still hasn't turned on.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And the talk time, hundreds and hundreds of minutes you can just chat away without the battery running out. Yes, texting is a pain in the ass, but to be fair, when you consider what could be happening, I'd rather have something than nothing. Or good luck trying to find a phone box and pound coins, whatever they are now. Do you remember those, the old phone boxes?
Yeah.
Follow me.
Yeah. But you say pound coins, cash.
Yeah. Cash, mate.
Cash, mate.
Shrapnel. Yeah. You know what we do is we go to cash points, we draw cash out, and we use it frivolously wherever we go.
Frivolously?
Yeah, supporting local businesses. And
no, I absolutely agree. It's just, frivolously, I just throw it away. Yeah, you have some.
Yeah, it's cash, man. But what happens is you accumulate all of this shrapnel, as it were.
Yeah.
And what we do is we divvy it all up and we keep like £1 and £2 coins, 50s, 20s, and 10s. Keep them in a bag. They stay in the car. So whether we go to car parks or anything like that, fine. You're never going to need to go, oh my God, I've got no change on me, whatever it is. On everything else, we just chuck in the big box. And like once a year, you take it to your bank and put it into the coin machine and convert it into 50, 60, 80 quid, whatever it's going to be.
The car parks now are all changing though, aren't they? So that if you've got one of these.
Oh my God, my smartphone. Yeah.
What can you do? If you haven't got a smartphone, some of these car parks now won't take cash.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I had an interesting email come through a few days ago now. And I thought what I might do is make a video, but I need to make sure I've got rid of this bloody cold. But what it basically outlined that there was 50 people like-minded. They got together. They all went into a supermarket, all arranged at exactly the same time. and they pretended that they didn't know each other. And they all went in there, they filled their trolleys right up, and they queued up because this supermarket was card only. So they went in there with just cash.
I love it.
So they all lined up on all of these checkouts, and they said, "I'm sorry, but it's card only." And they said, "Well," they said, "we've got all of this. What are we going to do?" And in the end, they got the manager down, and the manager said, "Just let them pay cash." So it just goes to show it can be done. A lot of people would be afraid to do that
Yeah,
on any sort of ramifications, which could
but I
probably
love that.
aside
I
from
love
that.
it.
But this is how we do something. You need to, pardon the phrase, grow a pair and actually do something. And like these people have done, they got away with it, and you can imagine how good it made them all feel. And of course, that sort of stuff starts spreading in social media. It's going to encourage other people to do it. I mean, we've already seen what's happening in London with the cameras. All of a sudden, they're not working for some strange, unapparent
No,
reason.
and you'd
Which is
think they'd
remarkable.
invested all that money. I really can't get my camera to make it look nice. You'd think they'd invested all that money, and these cameras don't work. The wires seem to sort of just get broken. It's just bizarre.
I know. And you would have thought with all of that technology, the image would be crystal clear, but apparently they're coming out completely black. And I just can't
Right?
fathom it, Richard. I really don't
It's like the
understand.
lenses just melt. I mean, that must have bought a bad batch. Must have been a
Yeah.
bad batch from some.
Oh, how silly. Hamstring. Anyway, yes, what I'm going to do. So today I thought what we'd do is we would do some fun stuff. Okay. So I don't know. This was a personal thing for me because what would tend to happen in Portsmouth in the 70s, Saturday morning, me and my brother would be farmed off to the pictures, Saturday morning pictures where all of our kids used to go. And we'd be left in there for a few hours. And I always remember the start of every film that they've done. And I don't know if you've ever seen this. I'm just going to roll it now. But they
The
used
old
to show,
Film Foundation.
yes, exactly. I knew you would recognize it. And it was brilliant because every time we used to go there and we see that come up, it was always some usually black and white film, like kids getting into an adventure, like ended up in a derelict building, and people trying to find them, and then the police turning up. It is fantastic
Oh, I
to see all
loved it.
that sort of stuff. So I thought tonight we would talk about,
And now for something completely different.
because we're not talking about the things that we usually talk about. And it was just it's incredible because when I go back in time about all of this, I mean, don't forget, guys, we're talking about periods way before computer games, mobile phones, smartphones, and indeed the internet. And this is a very short glimpse of what I used to get up to along Southsea seafront, right there, jumping up and down on the trampolines on the seafront in Southsea. Now, there's South Parade Pier, which was amazing, and it still stands today because if you could probably relate to this, Richard, coming from like a seaside sort of area, some of these piers are no longer with us, are they? Yet some of them just about manage to function. I mean, what's it like where you are? Has everything changed that much in all these years?
Our pier, Worthing Pier, where I am, we've had a number of piers. One of them burnt down, and
Wow.
yeah, we had a chain pier to begin with, and then they rebuilt it. We had a fire on it. They deliberately blew it in half during the Second World War, so that so that if any Germans came over and got on one end, they couldn't just march down the pier. So they deliberately nobbled it. And of course, in that period, there was barbed wire and anti-tank stuff and all of that along the seafront. That was right across the south of England. Hove Pier, of course, Brighton and Hove. Hove had a pier that I think it burnt down. There's my little cat. Look.
Hey, hello.
Stop
Do you know
it.
what, man? I really, really miss pets. We can't have any pets at this place because it's rented. And we actually had the landlady here once, and she said, "You can't have cats here." And I'm thinking, yeah, but we got mice. We haven't had any for a while, but I love cats and dogs, dude.
So your viewers have now just multiplied.
Oh, look, there you go.
Bit of
Look at
cat
that. What a
vision.
handsome chap. Oh, what is the name of said feline?
Mojo. It's actually, to be honest, it's not my cat. It's Julia's cat, and
Oh,
she's got 3 cats, and they're all girls, and this is a male cat, and they were just having a little bit of a time. Little Joe, Julia's youngest kid, was quite into like toddlers running around pulling tails and all of that sort of
I
stuff.
can imagine, yeah.
So I said I'd look after little Mojo for a while. He's licking my finger now. Look.
Oh man, what have you been eating? Something from that salad, possibly
Yeah.
cheese.
Yeah, he likes a bit of salad, doesn't he? He's the celery.
No. Yeah, I do. I always had cats and dogs growing up as a kid. But yeah, I'm just saying when we're talking about going back in the time,
Mm.
you know, when I visited my dad recently down in Portsmouth, he sent me some pictures. And this was one I haven't seen for a long, long time. Now, this, what I'm going to show you now, this is my grandfather around World War II time. But look at the vehicle that he used to work in.
Oh wow! Look at that.
I know. It's
Steam,
incredible, isn't it?
steam power.
Yeah, this was way, way, way back in the day. Now, my grandfather used to work on the bins in Portsmouth, and you know the amount of scrapes and tails and people that he used to help out. He used to help out so many people, and you know my dad and you know obviously my grandfather and his brothers too never really went without during World War II as they were growing up.
So
Literally
is that,
because
is that a dust cart?
yes, they're just going around collecting all of
Can
the
you
bins.
imagine that on the roads now? How
Oh
marvelous!
my God. Oh no, could you imagine it now with all of the traffic and all of the traffic lights and all of that sort of nonsense? And you know, it's great, you know, talking to my dad, catching up with the good old days, as it were. And
Yeah,
whilst I was
loved
on that sort of journey of going back in time, I thought I just looked into what it used to be like for me as a kid in Portsmouth. Now, I don't know if you've been to Portsmouth before, but
Yeah.
this was one of the markets which used to be quite popular in a place called Charlotte
Wow,
Street.
look at that. All that food.
I know, and this was the difference. Now, what I'd like to get the viewers to sort of study on this picture is have a good look at it and tell me what you see. Because I'll tell you this much, you don't see any obese people whatsoever. Because what used to happen every Saturdays, everyone went to the market and got their fresh fruit and vegetables and from the butchers without it being pumped with God knows what into their food. And
Yeah.
you very rarely saw large people, if you know want to put it politely, because that was how it was back then. You know, everyone walked around more than they drove around. You know, people ate real food rather than
That
the
that is
Frankenstein stuff available now.
that is an amazing picture with all those big bags of all that fruit and veg and all
Oh
those
man, honestly, I could have showed
healthy
loads.
people. Very
Yeah.
healthy.
And I'll tell you what, you're going to remember this, I know. And in fact, what I was going to do is we're going to bring it down, but I completely forgot at the last minute. Now, who remembers paraffin heaters back in the day?
Oh yes. I've got some
Yes.
paraffin somewhere.
I'm going to show you this, right? And it's probably going to bring back some memories. Now, lots of you guys watching this, especially my elders, as I refer them to, is going to be, oh, yes, I remember this.
Oh, SO Blue. Delivered to
Yeah,
your door.
exactly. This was in Portsmouth. And
Wow.
it was
Look at
just
that truck.
incredible. Yeah, I remember as a kid, they used to come up the road certain days of the week,
SO
and you
Blue.
come out there with any container you want, and it literally just pumped into it, and you just got charged for what you took, and it's very reasonable, especially compared to what you pay for today.
Hmm.
And like I said, because you know we're all preppers at the end of the day, paraffin will last indefinitely. And I would like to bet if you had that in a half decent container, you come back in 100 years' time and it will still do its job, which you're not going to get from lots of other fuels. So paraffin, yeah, when I saw that, oh my days, that brought back some memories. It really, really
Wow.
did. So
I
did
used
you
to
have any
I
in
used to
your
use
homes back then?
paraffin. I used to use paraffin when I
Mm.
used to do my fire eating. and I was an entertainer. Used to earn money as an
No
entertainer.
fire eating, have you?
Yeah, oh, yeah. So I would get
Wow.
dowel, some thin dowel, probably can't remember now, 1/4 inch dowel, maybe 1/2 inch dowel,
Yeah.
cotton wool, then cotton, and then a bandage over the top, cotton bandage. It all had to be proper cotton.
Yeah.
Then I would dip that into the paraffin. I would roll it all round. You know, I had a few muscles in those days in my youth, and dip it in the paraffin. Big, big lot of thing. Drink a bit of paraffin. Hold it in my mouth. Blow it out over the lit torch. Massive. I've got pictures upstairs. I should have, if I'd have known, I'd have brought them down.
No, you know, I should have given you a bit of a heads up.
You didn't know. So paraffin, because of course it's one of those things that's not so easy to ignite. So
Yes, you have to heat it, don't you? Yeah.
unlike barbecue, I did try barbecue fuel and just burnt myself to buggery because it was nasty, because it's so flammable, and petrol and things like that. You know, the fumes.
Yeah, bloody hell.
And when you're spraying it out, you're spraying it in a fine spray, so it all ignites. The only trouble is it doesn't all ignite. Some of it drips down you, and you at the end of the gig, you just stink to high heaven of bloody paraffin.
And it's a strong smell, isn't it? Yeah.
It is a bit it is carcinogenic, so you don't want to be doing it for too long. But yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you know, you just reminded me about carcinogenic, and in hindsight, we should do another one of these days. But I've got, do you remember Wright's coal tar soap?
I don't.
And Wright, they had a vaporizer. Do you remember the little tin vaporizers? Where you would light them? If I could find the picture, I'd whack it up on it. But basically, what it is you got this little tin, and it had real coal tar in it. You remember the bitumen when they used to do the roofs and the smell of it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that stuff. It was, oh my days. It's, you won't believe some of this stuff. Let me put it in there. Coal.
Two old men going back about nostalgia. My goodness, your poor audience.
Oh, well, I told them it's not going to be anything conspiratorial, and I think people wanted to be cheered up a bit in sight of all of his.
Well, I imagine some must remember these things as well. I bet they're suggesting a whole load of stuff in the comments.
Do you know, I've not even had a chance to look, to be fair. Let me have a see if I can find it on the images. Yes, there's one. Right. Hopefully, it's going to fill the screen. Let me see. Yes. Oh my God. I can even smell it now. I can just by looking at it. And if I can go present share screen, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This stuff here, right?
Oh,
you
wow.
would get inside this, which I've actually got. I've got some of this. It's very, very hard to get hold of. The inside here is this bottle, and it's got black coal tar, 100% liquid, extremely carcinogenic. And you would put that in there. This would heat up, and the whole room will smell of coal tar. And it was just one of those smells. Some of you people watching, let me just check the comments in here just to see.
Yeah.
Because the thing was, before this sort of stuff come out, do you know what people used to do, which I've looked into, is when they were doing the roads, they'd have these great big drums of tar, the bitumen stuff. And if their kid had a cold and it was all steaming and smoking, they would hold their kids over it, let them inhale it. And it would sort their colds out.
Right.
Yeah, I remember looking into this before the issue in 2020 happened. And yeah, when I looked into this, I was, wow, this is what used to happen years ago. And, you know, adults weren't stupid back then.
No.
But yet, no one died. But to say that to the younger generation, that, oh, you can't do that. No, that's killing the planet, and it's harmful, and it's proven to do this. So we're talking millions of people all over the UK used to regularly breathe all that stuff in. And like I said, it used to be really helpful and beneficial for children. So, yeah, I used to have it. I've never had asthma. So, yeah, all good in the hood. But, yeah, just to see some of that stuff, it just made me laugh. Now, this is another one I want to show you. What was your first car?
My first car was a Morris Traveller.
What colour?
It was green.
I
Yeah.
knew it. I'd say green. Yeah.
And when I was a kid, my dad had a grey one. That's why I was pausing, thinking, what was it? We had a Morris Traveller then. And when I first bought a car, my very own first car was a Morris Traveller, but it was green. Yeah, I loved it. Loved it. Wish I still had one now. I might invest in one in a few years' time if I can, if I get back on YouTube and earn some money.
I can imagine. Well, yeah, we're hopefully
Down to the ground, driving around in a Morris Traveller. I say, look at this old chip. It's lovely out here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you'd be able to park anywhere as well, wouldn't you?
The thing about my Morris Traveller was it came with a starting handle.
Starting the car by hand.
Yeah, and you could you did it with remember pulling out the choke and all of that,
yes,
flooding it and all of this business, and then the starter motor would get a bit stuck. So you just go, oh, don't worry, I've got the starting handle, and you had to be careful with that because it would kick you back.
Yeah, so that's the prepper car because if something fails, there's a backup there, isn't there? So
yeah,
absolutely. This was my first car. I remember getting this.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's a Vauxhall Viva back in the day. Now, I passed my test, I think it was the 10th of May, 1990. And this was quite an old car in that time. £200. And it was like a metallic goldy green and had a vinyl roof. And do you know what the funniest thing about the vinyl roof? If you went over, I think it was 50 miles an hour, the whole thing would bow down and it would touch you on the head because the wind would push it down on top. Incredible. And just to remember, they didn't have power steering. Can you imagine what it's going to be like now to drive one without power steering in that?
I had a Vauxhall Viva, an orange one.
Oh,
and one day I was driving it, and talk about the power, not having the power steering. One day I'm driving like this, as you do, and then it was like really loose, and then it would pick up again.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I remember.
The steering rack went in the middle. Some of the teeth had gone out. So I called the AA out. I was about an hour from home. They came and they said, yeah, this is, you can't really drive it. So I said, well, I've been driving it like this. I'll just carry on then. And they gave me this form to say, well, we've advised you not to.
Yeah, disclaimer.
And I got home. I went to a bookshop, bought the Haynes manual.
Yes.
Went down to a car place, bought the steering rack, never done anything like that before, and then spent the weekend undoing all the nuts, following the thing, put a steering rack on, bunged it on. I think I had to go and get the wheels balanced afterwards or something. I'd have something done. But I did it all myself. Never did anything like that before.
Yeah.
And I was able to drive the car again, and you could do it in those days.
Yeah,
you could buy a Haynes manual and strip your car down and put it back together again and have half a dozen nuts left over.
Yeah, lots of us did. And it started off for me when I had BMX bikes because they were all the rage in the late 70s, and it all started from there. Taking wheels off, doing the chain, and all the rest of it. And
days. And now. You have you say, oh, I think there's something wrong. Okay, well, it's 80 quid just to plug your car into the computer.
The diagnostic D-type connector in a big plastic box.
What kind of a scam is that? Everything's a scam.
Yeah, but like I say, when you go back in time like this, these are tiny little examples of literally being self-sufficient, especially from. Oh, that's a classic story there. No experience in it whatsoever. Bought a book, told you how to do it. Some simple tools. Guess what? You've done it. But you couldn't do that now. Imagine opening a Tesla and trying to get that done.
Yeah, you've got to change the battery in an electric car. Can you imagine that?
Apparently, you can't even change the batteries in them because you literally got to take the whole car apart. And to buy a battery, it's the same cost as the car.
It costs the car.
It's ridiculous. And I'll tell you what, because that's enough to make you sick, really. Yeah. And speaking of sick, or feeling ill, back in the day, who remembers this?
Oh, yes.
The Lucosade with the little wrapping around it. Now, I've always wanted to know, why the hell did they put that wrapping on there?
Yeah.
Bizarre.
That is bizarre. But do
The
you
only thing I can
remember?
think, yeah,
Do you
go on.
remember talking of not talking of conspiracy theories and things like that? But do you there he is. Do you
Yeah,
remember? Do you remember the
let's
AIDS?
just go on the bar and have a little drink.
Do you remember the
Yes.
AIDS when AIDS epidemic came out? And prior to that, Lucosade, their strapline was Lucosade, AIDS recovery. And of course, they had to change it because it was like, no, not that AIDS,
Yes.
obviously.
Oh, what an amazing play on words, right? That is
AIDS
fabulous.
recovery. And they go, no, I will have to change that.
Yeah, for sure. And do you know what? Another thing, and this was another blast from the past when I looked into it, was not too far from where we used to live. We used to go around the corner, right by the school. There was a sweet shop on the corner in North End. It used to be called the Sweet Spot. Now, on the outside of that, if it was closed, these are things you used to see everywhere. Now, do you remember these?
Oh yes, they were everywhere.
Fantastic. I know. They were
20p.
just
Look at
brilliant.
that. 2 10s. You'd put 2 10 pences in there, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you just put it in there, turn the knob, and out comes it. And I'll tell you this much: the chocolate that you got out was a lot thicker and bigger than the stuff you get now. And I believe they used to use real cacao back in those days. I mean, God knows what
Yeah.
Cadbury use.
Well, Cadbury sold. Right.
There you go. I was
When I
gonna
was
reach around and bloody grab one of them chocolate bars. I love fruit and nut as well. You're a
yeah.
whole nut, are you, sir?
No, well, I like both. I've got nuts.
Yeah,
But
same
a
here.
story about that for me was I lived in Penworth, this lovely little village in Sussex when I was when I was 18, and they had one of those chocolate machines in the town square, and I loved going down in the winter because I love chocolate when it's cold.
Yeah, my partner's like that. Yeah.
I'll put chocolate in the fridge. So you'd go down to the thing when it was cold in the winter, go down to this machine and pull it out and have some of that chocolate. I don't know. It was just an absolute, it was one of those simple things that was just a treat and joyous and lovely.
Yeah.
And now it's so, everything's so disposable and there's the magic is almost worn away.
Yeah.
Maybe we just got on.
I know exactly what you mean about something simple like that, but it's such a joyous occasion
Put the
because
money in and turn the handle. And
great.
sometimes they'd forgotten to fill the bloody machine, and you go, oh,
yeah. I want my money back. I remember that one. Yeah, fill up with 2p's and stuff. But
nip into the shop
when
and say, oi, your
you
machine's not working.
Exactly. I mean, this is what we do with our son. Rather than give him loads of time on screens and touch screens, I believe kids they grow and develop better if they've got access to mechanical things like Lego, Meccano, and things. They can fully understand and feel and see how it works.
Absolutely.
So you go to this machine, don't you? You put the money in, you turn it, you can feel it, all the mechanisms, and out it pops. But it doesn't stop there. You got that paper, real paper, not plastic foil, whatever it is. So you tear it off, and then you got the real foil. You take that off, and then you got big chunks of chocolate. And you would see them in train stations. You remember on the platforms and things?
Yeah, I do. And you're standing there and you're looking at the machine and you're thinking there's trains coming in, the machine's over there. Yes, I've got time.
Yeah. I know for sure. I know. And I'll tell you what, it is.
I was having a chat to somebody and they said, oh, Richard, we're in the digital world now. And I said, we're not. Don't ask to get too into that digital stuff, that visceral, touchy, feely holding of mechanical things.
Yeah.
It's so important to still remain in some sense of the analog world. That's why I have my wood burning stove in here. It's like it doesn't just switch on. It's not programmable. I have to go to chop the bloody wood. It's lovely.
I know, you just lose touch from, you go to a boiler. I mean, I can't grumble. I the same.
Your fire looks great,
automatic. We don't even have to touch it. It'll come on and come off all by itself. But having, even, the cold I've been having, I still have to go outside, get the wheelbarrow, fill it up with firewood 2 or 3 times, come back and load all of that up and just use that. Have you gone to sleep? You've frozen.
Have I?
Oh dear, I hope Richard can sort his connection out there. I really do. So whilst we wait for Richard to go and sort himself out there, what I thought I would do is we're 5 minutes away from a drink. Now, here is a drink. I've never had this before, and I chose it because it's got that wonderful word, English.
Oh.
Yep, we're all good.
Are we back?
Yeah. Wow. What was we talking about, which was so controversial? Oh my God.
You
It's
were
just dawned on
you
me.
were showing me your
You've got the
drink.
chocolate piece onto us now, mate.
Yeah. You were showing me your drink.
Yes, here we are. I've not tried this before, and the reason I've got this is because it's got that rather wonderful Joyce word which says English. So I don't know if Richard's got any
I'm going to
beverage.
go and have a look in the cupboard.
That's all right. We've got 4 minutes, sir. You've got a 4 minute warning. So just like back in the 80s when they were doing them sirens. Exactly. So how's everybody doing? I don't know what happened there. A little technical hitch, as it were. But yeah. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it buffered. StreamYard come up with something wrong, and I thought I've had this before. I don't know why it does it, but it's just crazy. So yeah, I couldn't see him. Oh, it looks like I'd gone, but he was still there. Yeah, so it's probably my end. Crazy, crazy. What I might do is plug the Wi-Fi connection in via Ethernet rather than do it Wi-Fi. Maybe it'd be somewhat more reliable if I was to endorse such an action there. I've just seen. Oh, what we got here? Footprints. Absolutely lovely. Thanks for that donation, sweetheart. That's awesome. Footprints. I remember footprints on the previous ones, and I do believe that there were donations earlier, and I just can't find them. Oh, I'm gutted. I'm gutted. I'm really sorry for missing those. It's only allowed me to go up. Oh, let me have a look. The highest I can go up to on my scrolling list is 954. Let's go. So yeah, if anyone's donated, I seriously appreciate it. I'm sorry I've missed it, but yeah, here we go. Scroll right down to the bottom. So that's it. We're back in the room. So yes, that is going to be. And I'm going to be trying a different glass as well, something unusual.
I only have I've only really got a bottle of port which I share with the lovely Julia, so I don't want to have that. So I've got the kettle on the go, so I should be having another coffee.
A good old English cup of tea, sir, or a cup of coffee.
Yes, it'll be a coffee probably.
Oh, look at that. See, this is how we roll, guys. And you just love, you've got a fire there, you've got a stove, and you put it on. No need for electric, etc. Now, I'm hoping that lovely little thing's got a whistle on there. Would I be correct?
It has got a whistle.
Yes.
It's it's kind of. Hang on a minute. If I do this, can you hear it? It's sort of whimpering.
Yes, I can hear it. It's a whirring sound.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. Thank you for the donation, BCTV. That's very kind, sir. And just quickly from Julia over on PayPal. Thank you for that donation as well. And also, while I'm on the subject of it, the people who have been donating through the week on PayPal, I really appreciate that. That's incredible, you guys. It's making a big difference because I think the problem I've had because of this cold, I haven't been able to get out as much content as I would have liked. So that's really, really helped those donations there. So you guys, beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. And who have we got? Awesome. Good to see you, Faye. Brilliant. Top mods in the house. Yeah. She's a keeper. That's cool. And look, chuck another log in here, old boy.
Yeah, chuck a few logs in.
Yeah, fantastic. It needs to be done. Look at this. Awesome. Oh, and we got another donation here. This is a massive love to everyone. Great to see Richard. What I've decided to do, Richard, have you got a PayPal account, sir?
I do, yes.
Right. What I'm going to do is all of the donations tonight, we'll split 50-50, and I'm going to be chucking that your way as well, mate.
Oh, you don't have to do that. You're doing all the work. I'm just sitting there having a cup of tea.
No, not at all. Like, bloody hell. I mean, if it would have happened to me, it would have done my head in, not having my YouTube channel there. Crazy. So it's 9 o'clock, and we've got this rather splendid little tool here.
Oh,
that was
nice.
hand forged in England at a craft fair, and I believe the guy only charged me £5 for that.
Wow.
And it's one of them things which is going to massively outlive me and possibly my son too. So yeah, we're going to endeavour to. Oh my goodness! I've just noticed this rather fruity English cider is currently running at 8.2%.
Ah, so you'll be on the floor then by the end of it. I've got some dates here.
Oh, I love dates. Gee whiz. I call them nature's golden syrup because that's what it tastes like. They're beautiful, aren't they? I love dates. Yeah, I always used to do for quite a while actually, about 3 every day, and yep, absolutely regular as clockwork. If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, it really helped. So yeah, that's cool. So there we go. Oh, all the way English cider. Oh, little bubbles dancing up my nostrils, sir. Good heavens. So cheers, everybody. And
cheers.
Richard's going to be having his cup of
coffee
beverage there. Happy Saturday. Sorry, Friday. I was going to say Saturday then. I've not even had any of this stuff. Oh, that's not bad. Wow. It's very soft and drinkable rather than full of fizz, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'm glad it's drinkable.
Do you know what? They say that now, don't they? It's one of those buzzy words which they use.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you know what? When I was we were speaking of sweets and stuff earlier, I come across this. Now I went to it. We're going to put this on the screen for a while. I want everyone to have a good look at this because it blew me away when I saw this.
Oh,
all of see what I'm saying about the old packaging and how different it is.
Look at those Smarties. Yeah, remember those opal fruits? Do you remember opal fruits?
I do. Yeah, not Starburst, whatever they called now.
Yeah, Roundtrees, fruit gums, Turkish delight. Oh, great, blimey.
Even the treats were in some sort of waxed paper sort of bags, aren't they?
Yeah.
Spangles. Hey, you can see the spangles at the top in the middle.
Oh yes, there we go.
My goodness, spangles. So that picture I showed you earlier of my grandfather.
Yeah.
Well, he used to smoke about 60 a day for years. Then he decided to give up as he got older. And he ended up having about 8 or 9 packets of spangles every day to replace his smoking habit. So every time
amazing how many of those have not changed.
Interesting observation there. Munchies.
Roundtree's fruit pastels, Love Hearts, Flake. They all look the same, don't they? I mean, I bet they taste differently. Tutti Fruities.
Not Jelly Tots. Oh my God, Jelly Tots. Oh my goodness. Bloody Nora. I know. It's incredible. Milk chocolate Aero. Wow, I remember Aeros. Oh yeah, fruit and nut.
Fries chocolate cream.
You'd have to be a serious rebel to have after 8s before 8 o'clock as well. I bet there's some rebels out there who've done that. Oh wow. I know. It's Lifesavers. Oh, I've just noticed a really small pack of toffo. I used to love toffos. I used to have banana flavour.
Can you still get toffo?
I hope you can, But you have to be careful at our age, man. Be pulling fillings out and God knows what, because they were really
weren't they? They were tough.
Yeah, they were for real boys back in the day. Blimey, yeah, look at that other stuff.
The day before fillings, they are.
Yeah, I'd say so. But yeah, I just thought I'd put that up there for some of you guys who remember those days and all of those sweets that we used to indulge ourselves in. So, which brings me back to one of the first drinks that I ever used to have when I was a teenager, I guess, back in the day, was this one. Shandy Bass.
Shandy Bass.
Good old Shandy Bass. And the tall one as well, the 440ml one, not the little ones. I can only remember them being the tall ones, not the tiny things, which is somewhat bizarre.
I remember the double diamonds. Do you remember the double diamonds? The sort of party pack. Horrible.
Do you know what? I was actually going to use one of those, the logos, because I remember seeing the Double D logo outside Working Men's Club when we used to go to as a family. And he was always be up there, all lit up. It's an orange yellow sign, DD, Double Diamond. And
Double
Party
diamond
7.
Works wonders. Double diamond work wonders. So
You
have
got
one
it?
day.
Oh, man, I remember. It's true. And like I said to you earlier, before we actually come on air, I want to show the viewers this, because this was the stuff which all of the elderly ladies around where I used to live used to drink this on a daily basis. Now, some of these...
Is that a stout?
It's a really strong triple stout made in England.
Yeah.
And, Mackeson's. Yeah, some of you guys watching now, I'm just going to drop into the chat because I've not been in there. Oh, I'm missing donations as well. We have got from Rev C Joy. Thank you for that super sticker. That's awesome. Appreciate that. That's seriously nice. That's awesome. Like I say, we're going to split it 50-50 tonight. So Paul Richards being without a voice. So it was at least get him something to put a smile back in his face. But Mackeson's, yeah, these were the days when my elderly... Oh, where am I talking? I'm right over here. Yeah, good heavens. These were the days when my very elderly next door neighbour, she would be up practically 6 o'clock every single morning on her hands and knees scrubbing the pavement outside her house. And she would always drink one of these every day. But she used to drink them out of the small little tins. Oh, wow. This is from Salty Dog 339. Thanks, Funky, and the Vobes. Miss you, man. Great show over on Richard V Experience. So, yeah, another good fan from our work, sir. That's awesome. And we got another one. This is Andrew. Great show. That's awesome. Yeah, I thought we'd just do something different, you know? I'm going to move.
I was going to say, reminds me when I was a kid, you know, my parents would drink these or their friends, or they'd have a party or whatever. And you'd take the bottles back to the back of the pub where the off license on the side of the pub was, and you'd get your 10p on the bottle or whatever it was.
I think it's Corona done that, didn't they?
Yeah. And
yeah, I remember
it was great because that was recycling back then, but you were being paid for it. You don't take the bottles back. And
do you know what? That's absolutely true. When you think about, I mean, I remember seeing this a documentary before the Beijing Olympics over in China, and they had this guy, and all he'd done was he got on his bike with a great big basket on the front and a backpack, and all he'd do is he'd go around people's houses buying their recyclable waste for very small money. And he'd gather all this together and he'd go and trade it in at a larger place to make some sort of profit on there. So here we are in the UK giving the council all of our recyclable waste. But not only are they paying us, we're paying them for the privilege. I mean,
I know. Yes.
It doesn't make any sense, sir. Broken Britain needs to be fixed. And yes, it's a pain in the backside for sure. It really is. Let's go back into the comments. You guys are awesome. We'd always get 3D for an empty bottle. 3D. Wow.
Oh, yeah. Threepence. Do you remember the old threepenny bit?
Pre-decimalisation. Seems like a long time ago now. And you know what? Yeah, I've got to show everyone this because, like I said, we're trying to cheer people up. Now, I remember seeing these as a kid. I believe these were made in the 60s, but in the 70s when I was a boy, we used to love watching this. Now, this might make you jump, so be ready for this, okay? tickled me every single time. I used to say, Keto. Do you remember that when he used to go around?
Oh,
Keto. That stuff's
got
bloody
those
awesome.
old reservoirs.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember that? We used to go on the phone. And this is Inspector Clouseau at the field. The field is rigging. And he'd speak like that really bizarre French. Oh, do you know what? Another thing, when I was looking at that little clip there, I'll come across there is some outtakes from the Pink Panther. And I'll tell you what, man, if you find it on YouTube, it will just crack you up. The amount of times there to retake stuff. I mean, you've done some film work as well. Did you ever come across retakes and funny moments like that?
Yeah, I mean, doing our children's series, you're cocking up. Because we did this children's TV series in the 90s, which was called Snug and Cozy. And it was really Laurel and Hardy in spacesuits. It was
I
about
love Laurel and Hardy.
two aliens who'd crash landed on Earth. And we'd taken up the names. In the original pilot that I wrote, the idea was that we'd crashed into a furniture store called Snug and Cozy Furniture. So we just thought, oh, we'll be snug and cozy. So we became Snug and Cozy. And we would, yes, there was quite a few retakes that had to be done. One of our best stunts that we did was, it was a sequence in which the little girl who was protecting us from everybody else was moving house. And we'd sneaked into the back of the removal van. And as the removal men were up emptying the van, we got into this double bed. The double bed went out the back of the van, went down a hill, and ended up in a car wash. And you've got the car wash stuff coming in and down. And when I'd written this stunt, and they said, "Oh, you can't do that. It's too dangerous. You can't go in a car wash." And I said, no, it'll be fine. We'll be fine. And they said, no, we can't do it. We'll have to stop you just before the car wash and put the camera in some distance to try and make it look like you're in there. So we went to the location, and we were looking at all the locations. And I said, can you turn the car wash on for a second just to have a look at it? And the guy whose garage it was went, yeah, I'll turn it on. He turned it on and it's doing its thing. And I just walked straight into the car wash and let these things come down and all of this. And I said, look, it's safe. So we filmed it and it was great. And it was, a moment. It was just one of those sort of crazy moments that you never get to do. So that,
man.
Happy days.
Was it quite difficult to get into doing TV work, as it were? Or is it one of those by chance opportunist things?
It was I'd been trying to get into television for ages. We made a pilot, so we invested a number of us initially who invested some money in making a pilot. I wrote the script and came up with the idea, and I was in it with a friend of mine, and we made this thing on film, and there was a sequence at the end in which we're in this allotment and the garden shed is supposed to collapse up on us and we have to run around with sheets of garden shed all over us, but we had to light it because it was supposed to be at night time, so we had to light it. So I wrote to Samuelson's, they were at TVS, which was a television station down south, and I said, how much would it cost to rent film lights? We're making this project and what have you. And the guy rang me up, and I remember he rang me up and he said, we get loads of requests from students and what have you for our film lights, and no one's got any money. You're the first one that said to us, how much will it cost, as somebody who's on a low budget. He said, but also everyone else is making it in video, but you're making it in film, which we were. And he said, so you must know what you're doing if you're doing it in film. So we'll give you the lights for nothing. So on this particular night, this massive, great big film truck turns up, like a 30-foot Pentechnicon type truck with these dirty, great big generators and these lights that they winched up about 20 foot into the air.
No way.
Absolutely. For nothing. And we filmed all this we'd hired a film camera, and we filmed all of this, and I've got the footage. And yeah, it was amazing. Anyway, so we had to make this pilot, and then we sent it was all put down onto VHS, and then we sent it off to the television
Oh,
stations.
those were the days, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and slowly they came back saying thanks for the idea, but no thanks. And then suddenly two TV stations, one was Granada, and one was Scottish Television,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they both said that they were interested. So we went to see them. They said, can you come and see us, darling?" So we went up there, my mate and I. We went to Granada first of all, and they said, "Oh, yes, we like it." And it was like an interview. It was really weird. It was like,
Yeah.
so your name is, what's your background? When did you make this? Da 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 da. Whereas Scottish Television were saying, "Hey, hi, the new, come on in, lads, sit down here.
How did you
Have an haggis." Oh, thanks very much. And so it was quite bizarre, but actually in the end, Scottish Television were the ones that stitched us up the worst. So
Oh my God, the jocks! Good heavens!
yeah, they were the television is full of backstabbers, and
You know what? I've heard this. My
yeah,
friend Mike, I'm a cockroach. He's dabbled in the film industry, Pinewood as an advisor, etc. And he said to me on numerous occasions, he said, "Mate," he said, "it's such a ruthless industry because you could do lots of work, but you just may not ever get paid.
yeah.
It's like getting blood out of a stone." I mean, it sounds like you can totally confirm this.
It was a bad. I mean, it was fun to have done it. The series is really
Oh,
now.
wow, Laurie, thank you.
Thank you, Laurie.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was hard work working with them because you think that they really have got your best interest at heart and they really want to make your program really work.
They want to be
And
your
in the
friend.
end, it was about saving as much money and them having the money and just just get it in the can as quickly as you can, as if it was nothing. And
I've heard
I
this.
really had to fight for some of the gags, like with the what's your name, the car wash. You really had to say, look, we want to do this.
Wide-eyed and awake. Thank you. That's awesome. You guys are beautiful. That's cool.
Kind, very kind. Thank you.
It is. It's lovely people out there.
So working on YouTube. I know I've just been banned and all of that, but I've never had more fun working on YouTube in reality than working on television. You can do grander things on television if there's a budget, of course.
Yeah.
But on YouTube, you're your own boss. And
yeah, you're free, aren't you?
If you're motivated enough to get up and do the stuff and learn and do it, okay, you never quite know how much money you're going to make, of course, but that's part of the fun in a way. So I would hate to lose the channel because in the past I was doing all sorts of wacky things.
Yeah.
And it's only recently, I mean, I see this as a temporary thing till the country is back on its feet again, and then I can go back and do more fun and silly stuff that I was doing before and looking at England and Englishness. And this is really only a temporary thing as far as I feel it. But
yeah,
I just wish the country, get rid of the government, get us back on thing, and we can all go back to these sort of things where we just have fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same. I mean, like I said, my journey from where I was to where I am now is somewhat remarkable when I actually look at it and think, wow, it's actually happened. But I remember the days, the alarm clock would go off in the morning, you'll get up, you'll put the heating on, do your routine, get off to work, sit in the traffic on the M27, and you know what I'm talking about, and the A27, absolute nightmare. And then you get to work, you park the car.
It's not the M25.
Oh my, it is pretty much, isn't it? I mean, some people who've never been on the M27 before, especially now, it's insane. It's mind-blowing. I mean, recently when we went down to Portsmouth, oh my days, the worst thing was when we got onto the M3, all of that 50-mile-an-hour roadworks. It's bonkers. And yeah, it was a 6-hour journey, for 200 miles.
I remember when they were putting in the Twyford bypass. You remember that?
I do, yeah, the Newbury bypass when you had Swampy up in the trees on the news.
Yeah.
I remember those days very well. Used to watch TVS with Fred Dinage. You remember those days?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, speaking about going back, do you remember? No, I know you already do. Jack Hargreaves.
Oh yes, of course.
Absolute legend. Did you know you can get all of his stuff on DVD, everything he done on the TV?
I've got one upstairs.
Oh, fair play to you, sir. An absolute. I mean, that is my childhood. I remember used to watching it. It was always around the 6 o'clock news or something, wasn't it? If I recall.
Mm.
And to see someone highly skilled, and he always had that pipe on the go. I mean, that was part of the reasons why I got my pipe, just to not emulate, but try and experience the life that he had. I mean, he sat on the
It was
shed.
calm, wasn't it? Calm,
Yeah,
slow, gentle. And these days you can't do slow, calm, and gentle unless you're on YouTube or something, in which you pick up loads of viewers. But on television now, it's all going to be fast-paced, hugely edited, processed, and the music levels up, and all of this, and that's why people are coming to YouTube and watching people like yourself, because it's just different, and it's not so high tension all the time. It's real.
It is. I mean, I think a lot of people like to see genuine people who have a story. I mean, people love stories. I mean, if you can, and people say to me quite a few times, they probably come to you and said the same thing. I want to start a YouTube channel. What do I do? And I always say the same thing. Whatever you do, no matter what, you have to be yourself. The second you start pretending to be someone else, it's going to come a time, and I'm sure it's happened to you, like it has with me many times now. You're out in public and people come up to, hi, Richard. Hi, Funky. How's it going? And it's always out of the blue because they know us, but we don't know them. And it's always that. And it takes, I can't remember how many times, but it's a lot. And over time, you sort of, you get used to it and you put them at ease and you welcome them. And basically, you're just reiterating what they see on the screen. And let me tell you this, if you're short with people and you're different in how you appear, it's not going to take long for that to get out and then you're finished. So my advice is always be yourself. Don't worry about pretense or trying to impress or trying to be perfect. Just relax because that's all you have to do. It's simple, really, isn't it? Just be yourself. People either like it or they don't. And I'm very grateful that a lot of people do. And it's quite strange that we both got the same amount of viewers as well, which is quite a beautiful thing as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And a nice crossover as well, which is great.
Absolutely. I mean, it's almost like whatever's topical, it's like an historic, some people call it data point or a capture, but these are historical recordings. What we're talking about the current times, the general feelings of the people who are going through these crazy times. Let's be frank. And like I said, when you actually meet these people in public, it's great. I mean, sometimes you probably get it as well. They look really nervous, and I'm a bit starstruck. So you just like, mate, I'm just a guy.
Yeah, I know. It is very strange.
Yeah.
I'm very often, if the sun is shining, I'm often sitting outside my house reading a book in between editing and what have you. Just have a cup of coffee, and I'll just be sitting there minding my own business, and somebody will come across and they'll say, really like your channel, just like low key, and I'll get up and I'll say, really, and I'll shake them by the hand and thank them, because without your viewers, you're nobody. And
exactly,
so important to be able to do that. And one of the things that I feel at the moment is once I got into this talking and the audience grew rather rapidly, loads of people email, as I know you get. And I really feel bad that I can't get to every email. And say thank you for the email. Thank you for thinking of writing to me, even if it's just sending me a link to a video they think is worth me watching. And I can't get to that because it's so busy. But people don't realize how much it really hurts that you can't go back, because the audience is so important.
Because there's that 100% genuine connection there. I mean, I'm so fortunate. Like you probably got yourself, you've got people who followed you right from the early days, and I'll get the same. And it's just, you see the names pop up and you guys, you know who you are. And it's that which really does make a huge difference, because like life, People come, people go. People are meant to be there for a reason. You learn from them or whatever. But for the people to still be there right from back in 2012 in January when I started, it's just remarkable. It really is. I mean, there's some channels that I followed literally from the day I found them, and I subscribe and I watch them all the time. And it's difficult to do that because times change, people's change, and opinions change as well, especially with what happened in 2020. I mean, that really did divide a lot of people. So the object of tonight's video was to literally just relax and just talk, because that's what we should do, rather than you never guess what's going to happen tomorrow. Oh my God. Maybe
Well,
it did, but for right now, we're relaxing.
I was talking to somebody and I said, you know, I'm now, my channel, I need to be, we've gone where we've informed people of what's happening, and I'm learning as well of what's happening and what's going on. Now it's about keeping the positive, finding the solutions, giving people reason to keep going. And you know, I dare say there's a few more horrors coming and things are, you know, going to get a bit tough. But in between all of that, it's like so many channels just keep putting it on thick. They keep frightening you and keep saying, oh, this is going to happen. Your money's going to run out and this is going to happen. And there's going to be more of the old ding dongs or whatever it is. And
ding dong. You remember those?
I used to say, oh, chap, ding dong, you're not old.
Good, yes.
Leslie Phillips.
Wow, yeah.
And all
don't, because we're going to tantalize it.
For me, it's about we've got to try and make our audience, keep them, don't frighten them too much, because there's a lot of nasty stuff, and we need those positive vibes, those high vibrations.
Yeah, it's like everything. I mean, when you look at it, it's pretty much what the powers that be, whoever it is, they are serious masters at manipulation. And manipulation is the key word, because they could literally get the whole nation on a knife edge, but they realize that at some point they need to back off and let the people depressurize. And statistically, from what I've been monitoring over the recent years, is that's always around summertime. Go out and let the people go and have their riots or whatever. Let them go and enjoy the sunshine. Let's just back off so they can burn off steam. Let them have their little few weeks holiday or whatever. And as the weather changes, let's ramp up, turn it right up. We get the fear, we get the little lantern there, and we're going to turn it right up there and really frighten people. But the thing is, like we do, we're doing this now, and I do videos where I go out to the woods by myself for 24 hours and just relax and take people with me, because I'm fully aware that not everyone who watches my channel, and probably yourself, is fit, capable, and able to go out and do those things. And lots of them maybe used to do it a long time ago or some time ago, but they can't do it no longer, so they miss it. So to get them almost like taking them with you and talking to them, like looking at the camera like I'm doing now, and the amount of feedback that I get, and I'm sure you get it as well, mate. It's seriously helping people. You know, I've had people and cancer in hospitals, and my videos have gotten them through. And yeah, that brings me to tears sometimes when you hear real people telling real stories about positive stuff. And no doubt, man, you've had the same.
You'll have to take me into the. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? I mean,
stop.
No, I wasn't saying it like that.
No, we're going to go Terry Thomas now.
I say that to shut. But no, I was thinking we should. It'd be funny to do a little overnight somewhere in the woods type thing. It'd be quite fun.
Should we do that, people? If you want to see an overnight camping video, let us know, and we'll do that summertime. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
I can see it now. We should wear just like they used to do. Do you remember the guy? I forget his name. Who was on Carry On Camping? Charles Autry, was it?
Autry.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should dress like that and do a little camp somewhere. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh my good God! Little beat up knees and legs. Little billy cans dangling off of rucksacks. Yeah. Ooh, matron. Yes, here we go. Look, there's one. TD.
Ooh, thanks for that. No, something about you.
But yeah, that was the thing. Back in the days, you could say all of these things and no one got offended.
No, why
Now it
would
seems.
Yes, I know. We've got to claim back our sense of humour.
Yeah.
And there's so much we've got to claim back rather than let it just disappear because a few people, don't listen to it. That's what I always say. If you don't like this sense of humour, you don't have to listen. It's not purposely devised to insult people. It's just certain things are genuinely funny to certain people.
Yeah.
Because, not everything is funny to everybody. What joke is universal? I mean, if it's funny to everybody, then it's probably not very funny.
Exactly. Like, you've nailed it right there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's impossible to become a people pleaser because you're never going to please people all the time. No one's ever going to do that. Not even AI could do that, believe it or not, guys. But it's just
least of all AI. What
IA? Yeah. Exactly. Completely and utterly bonkers. And a word which we should use more often, I believe, would be poppycock.
Poppycock. Absolute poppycock.
Good God, man. Yes, for sure. 100% poppycock, sir. And it's true because back in the days, I mean, the Carry On films was a classic. I mean, you could say and do things back then, and you try doing that now.
Yeah.
Good heavens. Can you imagine the ramifications of such actions of them?
Yes.
It would just be nuts. I'm looking at the comments, so I haven't done it. Morph. I'll tell you what, we was only talking about Morph the other day, me and my partner. And we used to come home from school. There was Take Heart by Tony Hart.
Oh, yes.
And that little animated bit of plaster scene called Morph. Brilliant, all of these things. But yeah, oh my, Flipper. I remember seeing some Flipper. Some of these were imported from America or Australia, weren't they, these programs?
Yeah. And Skippy. Do you remember Skippy the bush kangaroo?
Do you know what, mate? Yeah, someone put that up there earlier.
All right.
What's that, Skip? Helicopter crash.
Daktari, that was another one in the jungle. Is it Daktari?
Bloody hell, yeah. Oh, look at this. Tiz was. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Custard pie, phantom pie flinger. I remember that. Bloody hell. Oh, this really does go back, doesn't it? Rainbow. Yes, I remember Rainbow. Yeah, you'll remember this one, mate. Oh, yeah. That butler. Get that boss out.
On the bus.
I'll get you, butler. I'll get you, butler. Get that boss out.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Another thing, God blimey, I was just remembering all of these. What else was there? Laurel and Hardy, which we talked about earlier, absolutely got all of their stuff. Massive fan of their work, as it were. And there should be more people like Laurel and Hardy who are just slapstick, just two guys having a laugh without worrying about, oh my God, I'm offended. Nothing happens when you're offended, guys.
No. Well, you take offense, don't you? You take it, you don't give it.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I mean, it's crazy. I'm looking at these clangers.
Oh, yes, clangers. Do you remember the clangers? Oliver Postgate series, that was.
Do you know, I'd love to see the script for one of those. How'd you write that?
She's a soup dragon.
Oh, and another one was Button Moon. I remember Button Moon.
Button Moon. Do you remember
Z-Card?
Oh, yeah.
We're going back there, mate.
I remember Z-Card.
Oh, bloody Norman Wisdom. Now he.
Mr. Grimsdale! They're taking all our bottles.
Man, we should love watching. Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Don't do that! No, you can't do that! No! Stop it! No!
Stop it! You'll have me coughing my little nuts off. Oh, good God.
Mr. Grimsdale! Mr. Grimsdale!
Mr. Grimsdale! Bloody someone's put Crime Watch.
Crime Watch?
Oh my God, I remember. Or was that Keep 'em Peeled? Remember that?
Keep 'em Peeled, oh yeah.
Tyler.
What was that? Sean Taylor.
Sean Taylor, sorry, not Tyler. Yes, that's it. Some of his, he got American guys in there. He got Albert and Costello and the Three Stooges and all that sort of stuff. Oh, look at this. Now, Space 1999. I was a massive fan when I was a kid watching that.
Barbara Bain.
What's that?
Barbara Bain was one of them. She was what's his name? Moss. Barry Moss.
Yes. I
Barry
recall.
Moss. You're taxing my brain here.
You're going back some now, sir.
Martin Landau. Martin Landau. He was in it.
I remember Martin Landau.
Ow.
And, oh my God. Watch out, sir. Buck Rogers. Remember that? Twiggy. The little. How did I do that about coughing my bloody backside up? Oh, here we go. Now, this is a classic. Step.
Oh, yes.
You remember you thought, you dirty old man. Harold. Oh, no, Harold. Oh, don't leave me, Harold.
I can't move, Harold.
He's dirty old man.
Dirty old man.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, that is brilliant. What else have we got in here? Elf Garnet. Oh, my God. I remember Elf Garnet.
Yes. God, blimey. Can you imagine that going out now?
It's them, innit? It's the beep. I can't even say it now. Oh, yeah. Look, the Sweeney.
Blimey.
Yeah. Bloody hell. Was it Dennis Waterman, wasn't it?
I'm just trying to remember the tune. John
and
Thorne.
the Professionals. Someone completely bloody killed it with bloody Brookside. I mean,
Brookside.
God,
oh yeah.
Go away. Sorry. Oh my days. Oh, look at this now. This. Not everyone remembers Blake Seven, but I certainly do. I used to absolutely love watching Blake Seven as a kid. Wow. What is it about that woman with short dark hair? I used to like her when I was a little boy. Anyway, that's another story.
That's another story. A little fantasy going on there.
Oh, look, the test card. Do you remember the test card?
Television actually came to a stop. It wasn't wall-to-wall television. You just had that little girl and her little whatever it was, that she had teddy bear.
Yeah. Do you remember that? I'm trying to remember what it was.
Blonde girl.
Yeah, there it is.
And she was sitting in front of a chalkboard, wasn't she? When she had a little Humpty Dumpty teddy bear thing.
Wow, I remember that. Oh, that takes me back. That does. I'm just
they used to play very light music.
Yeah, and it was this. Haha. The test. There's the little girl there with that weird, freaky little dolly thing there, wasn't it?
Yeah, little clown, wasn't it?
Bloody hell. Yeah, that was serious. I mean, how old do you think that girl's going to be these days? Blimey, because that was some time ago now, wasn't it?
She must be in her 70s, I would imagine.
That'd be, if any of you guys know that she's still living, we'll get her on a live stream. That'd be hilarious. Can you imagine it now? Because this is what you were saying earlier. This is the beauty of being your own executive producer, because you get to make those decisions. And you couldn't just do that being an actor from some company. Oh, should we do so and so? They go, no, it's not your job. In fact, when I was on the TV, I was on National Geographic when they come to film years ago now. And I remember I was walking away, and I believed in my mind that was where I would cut it if I was filming it, which is what we used to do it. And as I got to there, I said, cut. And I'll tell you what, the producer went nuts. When I come back, he said, I say when to cut. And I'm thinking, but yeah, it's just me being me, just clowning around on set, as it were. But yeah. It's nuts. Here we go. This was another one. I don't want to lose this. Oh my God, someone's put the wooden top. Spotty the dog.
Yeah, do you remember the wooden tops?
Yeah. He had some nuts on him, that dog. Bless him. Faulty Towers. Now that was an absolute stone cold classic. Do you know what? They only done about 6 or 7 episodes, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was like 10 or 11.
Or was it something like that? Was it? Yeah, it wasn't like
two series. It wasn't, that was it.
I've got the box set somewhere, and I remember
Manuel?
think,
Manuel?
"Okay, what's that?
Hey,
Mr. Body."
what? Manuel, let me explain.
Oh my God. He actually got some real stick, didn't he? You know,
Yeah.
and can you imagine the outtakes? He must have had some
Oh.
sore parts on his body from what Basil used to do to that guy. Oh,
What did you
Citizen
expect?
Smith. There's
Oh, yeah.
one. Power
Power
to the people. The people's, was it Tooting, wasn't it? I think it was over in
Yeah,
London.
something like that.
Yeah. And the young ones, oh my days, they were
Yeah.
massive back in the day, weren't
Vivian.
they?
Vivian.
It's Rickman. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's really
They were
good, man.
great.
I mean, it's really good, you know, man.
Oh my, yeah, we grow the seeds, nature heals the seeds. I remember, oh my days. Nigel Planner or Planer.
Yeah, Nigel
Yeah.
Plain, yeah.
Love thy neighbour. Blimey. Yeah, can you
That's
imagine
risky.
just even mentioning stuff about that now?
Yeah.
Yeah, a magic roundabout. If you wanted to experience what LSD was like in the 60s, watch that. That was full of innuendo, that thing.
That's right. Time
It
for
absolutely
bed.
was, wasn't
Bang.
it?
Zebedee
Blood.
Bride.
Do you know what? It's amazing because I had a few things written down, but the guys in the comments are amazing. We have
Yeah.
got the best subscribers because no doubt we've got Richard's followers and my own here as well, and it's beautiful to see everyone together. Oh God, someone's put in here. Oh, it's gone. This is the chat. I was just about to click something and it went. There's just so many people. We got over 2,000 people in it still, which is remarkable.
Wow, 2,000 people. That is amazing.
Well, there was only 3,000 earlier. It's dropped off a bit because I think some people have
We've
got
got a
things
bit bored.
to do. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? Oh my good heavens! Oh, here we go. Look, Benny Hill. Now that guy.
Yeah.
You remember Benny Hill?
Yeah. What is the funny music that they?
I think it's something like that. And it always had the girls with the stockings running around. That was always nice when he was an adolescent boy back in the day. Yeah, never done anything to me, not much. Bless him. But one of the scenes on there, because it's full of scenes, wasn't it? All of these Benny Hills was these. I think it was a milkman.
Oh yes, the milkman. What was his name? The fastest milkman of the West. His
Ernie.
Name, Ernie. He drove the fastest milkboat in the West.
That's bloody brilliant. But this particular scene, this milkman goes up to the door, knocks on the door to put the milk down or collect money or something, and the door would open, and there'd be some girl there, scantily clad in negligee in a 70s.
Yeah.
And she was being really seductive and provocative and stuff. And of course, the milkman looked around, she invites him in, and off he went. And she sort of led him up the stairs, sort of really like sheepishly opened the door a little bit, and he goes, "Go in there." So he goes in there, and she shuts the door. And as he turns around, there's about 10 other milkmen in there.
Yes, that's right. I remember that one.
You remember that one, do you?
I do.
Yeah. But he was classic, mate. Benny Hill back in the day.
Dick Emery. Do you remember Dick Emery?
Dick Emery, I do. Yeah. Oh my
Dick
God, that was
Emery.
a face
You are awful, but I like you.
Morecambe and Wise.
Morecambe and Wise. Bring
They
me
were.
sunshine. All the while.
Fantastic, mate. Yeah. You remember when he used to do the old? I used to walk away.
Yeah.
We tried to do that when we was filming on set once. Me and my mates tried to walk off, but man, I kept getting the hands wrong. I made a right fool of it. We didn't do that. We're not even on the outtakes. Oh my bloody hell! There's loads in here. Can you see the chat where you are as well?
No, I can't see it.
Oh no, that's a shame.
I can only see it when you put it up.
Oh right, okay. Right, let me just try. Oh, here we go. Now this was a classic. One of my favourites was porridge.
Oh, porridge.
I got
Norman
the entire
Stanley. What was his name?
Norman Stanley Fletcher. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Tell
right.
you what, Ronnie Barker, he really was one of the best.
Absolutely. You don't get that caliber anymore.
No. Do you remember Open All Hours as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you remember Granville? With his little tank top. Called David Jameson, isn't it?
Well, Mr. Barraclough, what do you think then, Mr. Barraclough? Well,
Mr. Barraclough.
I think you should go out once in a while.
It really was, wasn't it? Well, I mean, when you look at the characters in there, do you know what I'd love to see one?
Mr. Mackay.
Mr. Mackay, oh my God. When you think about it, the characters in that was absolutely perfect, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They couldn't have done any more. I'd love to be involved in doing a production and casting and looking for people to fit their roles, because looking at it, it'd be really hard to replace what we've already seen in Porridge.
Now, Fletcher, come on, Fletcher.
God. And you know, another one, it's not on here, but it's an old film which brings back loads of memories. And Dad, if you're watching, my dad sometimes watches these, was an old film called Two-Way Stretch. Did you ever see that?
Oh, Two-Way Stretch, yes.
With Bernard Cribbins.
Bernard Cribbins. Was Lionel Jeffries in that one?
Peter Sellers and Lionel Jeffries, yeah. Sauerkraut, you remember?
That's right.
What an absolutely brilliant film.
Two-Way
And
Stretch.
we go back to another one, Lady Killers. You remember the Lady Killers? That was the original one.
Alec
Not
Guinness.
the remake BS that they've done.
Yeah.
All of those old Ealing films.
The Two-Way Stretch. Two-Way Stretch. They're in prison, aren't they? They have to escape to do.
That's right.
And then they have to get back.
To get back in the Perfect Alibi.
Yeah.
It was Jules or something from some Sultan, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's a brilliant film.
Simple, but and everything goes wrong, doesn't it?
It does.
John the Measurer is in it, and all of that.
One of the beautiful things about films like that is you get to see glimpses of what life was like back then. You can see the cars on the street and how people dressed, and it's just like historical capture points, isn't it? Again,
was Bernard Cribbins, was that the one where he played Nervous O'Toole?
No, Lenny the Dip.
Oh, Lenny
the Dip. That's it. I know that film. Trust me, big time. And oh my God, yeah, it's a fantastic film. And another one, Passport to Pimlico. You must remember.
Oh yes, Stanley.
Very good film.
Stanley following Margaret Rutherford.
And then you can go back to Whiskey Galore. That's another one.
Galore, yeah. Titfield Thunderbolt.
Yes. Do you know what I used to love watching? Now this goes back a long time when I was contract work, and I was up in Scotland working in a little place called Dumfries, and we checked into this B&B just not too far away, and it was a Saturday, because we'd work Monday to Friday, 13 old hours a day, loads of money, good little job. But rather than come all the way back to Portsmouth from Dumfries, decided to stay there the weekend. And it was a grey, drizzly, rainy day up in Scotland, as you could probably imagine or appreciate. And I put the telly on, laying down on the bed, bored, and an amazing film come on, and it was a black and white one, Basil Rathbone, The Hound of the Baskervilles.
Oh yeah.
And I loved it so much because just watching that film in that time, I was on my own, it was raining, and it was a really atmospheric, really well made black and white film.
To the moor.
It was brilliant. It was amazing. And God, don't, because that actually happened there. I'll kid you not, I had a live stream and it sounded like werewolves out there, or wolves. I'm not joking, I'll kid you not. Some of you guys would have seen that live stream with Pete Mind Wiseman, and it's about an hour into it. And I was sitting there thinking, what's that? And I went quiet, and you can hear it out there going, "Ooh." And I was like, oh my God. And people heard it on the live stream. I am not joking. And someone said, I looked into it, that they're thinking of introducing wolves to parts of Wales and Scotland over the coming years. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if they put wolves out there, all them sheep, not a chance. I don't know what it was. But anyway, going back.
Funny you just say that. It's funny to say, because now the old conspiracy brain switches in there to think, are they putting wolves into the location so that people don't go into the landscape?
That could be. I thought about that as well when I heard it.
So suddenly I've switched back into the modern crap.
No. Come back, Richard. Come back.
Help,
come back
help,
there.
Help! Help!
Come back, Chuck. The old Chewits adverts for the old Godzilla. Come back, Chuck. Bring him out of there. But the thing is, when I watched that I just, what we done last time, do you remember, with the red and white stripes buddy, the old Hook? I used to do the old comedy thing.
Yeah,
you're not funny enough. I had to go, But yeah, watching that Basil Rathbone stuff, I loved it so much that I went on to eBay back in the day. And these were the days we can go on eBay and you can buy loads of films like this. I've got the entire collection from Basil Rathbone copied on DVD, the whole lot for 10 quid.
Wow.
And there's loads of them. But it didn't stop there. I went into, and one of my personal favorites as a kid was Will Hay. Now, I don't know if you know Will Hay.
Will Hay and Moores Marriott and
Mofat.
Last train's gone. Last train's
Oh, you know it. Oh my God, I'll tell you what. Oh, Mr. Porter was one of my all-time favourite films.
Yes.
What a funny man you are. And I'll tell you what, Will Hay, I've got the entire collection of all of his stuff on DVD.
Wasting your time.
And do you know what? I've actually found the granddaughter of William Morfat on Instagram, and I'll follow her. She's a storyteller over in Basingstoke, I believe. And when she put a post up of the plaque of, he goes, oh, that was my that was Uncle Graham or Granddad. I'm thinking,
yeah, Graham Moffat.
Oh, yeah,
Graham Moffat. He died young, didn't he?
He did, unfortunately, yeah. And you had more Marriott as well, Graham Moffat, and of course Will Hay. Them three. Yeah. Oh, look, that start twofold. You all get it or something like that, wasn't it? But it was brilliant. It really, really was. And I still love those films. And when you look at films like that, they're just timeless. And whilst researching into looking at some of those old films, I come across rare behind-the-scenes footage, and I refuse to watch it because if I see any insight to behind the scenes, it ruins the whole thing for me. I'd rather keep it as that memory of as a kid watching these things on the TV and stuff after school or on a Saturday afternoon or whatever it was. And yeah, it was just, hold on a minute, I've just seen this. I can't, oh my God, I can't find it on there. But someone's just donated $100.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, this is from Rick and Debs in I presume it's North Idaho.
That is amazing.
And it goes on to say, we might be across the pond, but we're in the same boat and appreciate you from North Idaho, USA. Rick and Debs.
Thank you so much. Wow.
That's a beautiful thing, dude.
That's amazing.
I'm a bit shocked, to be honest, because that's a lot of money just to give. Wow, dude. Oh, my days. So, yeah, those old black and white films for me is amazing. And also going back to lots of the old 50s sci-fi stuff as well, which I love. And some of the B movies as well. Some of them are so ridiculously crass. You can't help but love some of them if you understand what I mean. It's insane. But, yeah, honestly, we could go on all night. There's so many things. Oh, here we go. Look. Kelly's Heroes. Now, that is one of my personal favourites. In fact, you speaking of that, I'm going to drop my hero, my personal hero from my childhood, Oddball. Wait.
Hi, man.
What are you doing?
I'm drinking wine and eating cheese and catching some rays, you know.
Be more like Oddball, guys. Isn't that right, Richard?
Yeah, absolutely.
It is. You know, when things are going crazy around you, be like Oddball. I'm going to make a T-shirt. There he goes. I'm just drinking some wine. He's eating some cheese. You know.
Well, I've eaten I've got apple and a bit of a salad thing going here.
Yeah, you got the best of both worlds.
You got
the best of both worlds. The devil cheese and something healthy as well. And of course, I've got some booze, but Richard hasn't. So Kelly's Heroes.
We ain't got no booze. We ain't got no booze.
Boy. Sorry, mate. Oh, God, I couldn't help it.
We ain't got no booze.
Oh, bloody hell. Hey, do you remember that film Zulu?
Oh, original? Yeah.
Well, that was one of my personal favorites.
Michael Caine's first proper feature film.
That's right, yeah. There's my pest out there. You remember Bromhead? Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is because when you get comments, and we both get comments, don't we, on our channels, and you always get the comedian who thinks they're funny. So this is for you.
No
guys.
comedians, please.
No comedians.
What was the name of that actor? He was
Colour Sergeant Bourne. His real name, Oh,
He was
it
in.
wasn't Stanley
Do you
Bacon.
remember the Ipcris file?
No, it's gone, mate.
Okay, it's a spy thriller, 60s spy thriller, the Ipcris file.
Oh, right. I don't recall that one, but I do remember Get Carter. That was a good
Get
film.
Carter, yeah, that was another one.
Yeah.
That was quite brutal, wasn't it?
It was, when you think about it. I think I might have seen a bit of that as a kid, actually. And I remember a scene from the car park and the cars going around. And I remember, you remember Coronation Street, probably, Alf Roberts. He actually got dropped from one of the multi-stories there, didn't he? Yeah, funny old world. Blimey. So, yeah, I'll just, sorry, drop into the chat and see what's in there. Yeah, people bigging up Oddball, which is, oh, it's another one, Logan's Run. Now that, Lee Tronics, that was one of my all-time favorites as a kid, Logan's Run. And in fact, it must have been around, I don't know, probably about 11 years old, something like that. But I had a serious crush on Jennifer Agutter, big time. Probably still have. But yeah, she was in that film. That was awesome. Now, it's good to see all of these.
Yeah.
Blimey.
The Railway Children.
Someone's put on there, is Richard having some popcorn? Laugh out loud.
Yeah, I could have done some popcorn. You could do popcorn on here, all right. But
So we should do that one. Like, can you imagine that? Just had lid off and then it just goes crazy.
It's just
salad.
Got cauliflower.
Yeah, splendid. Oh, this is funny. Batman and Robin. Do you remember the original 60s series that was on the telly?
Batman.
It was hilarious, wasn't it?
Batman.
Yeah, and one of the funniest things, I worked with this guy years ago doing this military contract somewhere, and he said, just for a laugh, he got the first episode of that Batman series, and I think he said it was the one where they was out at sea and it was tied or stuck to a buoy or a buoy.
Oh, and the shark
repellent spray. Do you remember? He got it out of it. Oh my god!
That shark repellent spray.
Now that stuff is absolutely gold.
You're always carrying that on just in case.
In that tiny utility belt. I mean, man, you could literally pull that apart. Now, this is a really good, interesting thing, but you can go conspiratorial with this. Dr. Strangelove.
Dr. Strange, Peter Sellers.
I've seen bits and pieces of this coming from, if you're interested, if you guys are conspiracy based, I'm not going to devil, we're just going to touch. There's a very, very seriously good documentary. I think it's in 2 parts, and it's called Kubrick's Odyssey, all about the films of Stanley Kubrick. Now, this is one of Stanley Kubrick's first films that he'd done. Now, if you want to really know hidden stuff in movies, especially with Stanley Kubrick, you need to watch Kubrick's Odyssey by a wonderful American guy called Jay Weidner. Jay Weidner. If you find that, get the original DVD. I've got it. It's an amazing. It will seriously blow your mind what was hidden in films like The Shining, with the moon landings, Eyes Wide Shut. It just goes on. So I'm going to leave it there. But Dr. Strangelove, I remember that was featured in that documentary. And to be honest, it's one of the films that I haven't watched yet. So yes. What's this? So we got Cornish Bob. The community on Funky's channel is awesome. We're all brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, Cornish Bob, he sent me that Cornish flag, which is hanging on the back of the arm here in front of the fire. And yes, my partner is Cornish. I spent most of my childhood running around Cornwall. Oh, I love the place. It's beautiful. So yeah, I've pretty much been on the south coast of England all my life until I've decided to bug out for the masses up here in the mountains. Someone's put, no cheese, Richard. Not anymore. He's probably eating it all, isn't he?
I've eaten all the cheese. That went first.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I always go for like the steak or the good stuff first and then mop up the rest later. Amazing. So yeah, that's all looking good. Oh, here's another one. Do you remember the Triffids?
Oh yeah.
God, the day of the Triffids in the 80s, getting attacked by celery sticks, wasn't it? Do you remember that?
I remember seeing it for the film, the 1960s film, for the first time and being absolutely terrified. And you know, it was in those days. Do you remember when Doctor Who used to come on and you did literally hide behind the sofa? It was one of those sort of things.
Is it Davros, the leader of the Daleks? He gave me nightmares as a kid. That horrible thing and that black bloody wheelchair thing. Oh my god, killer, absolute
Yeah.
killer.
And all of that. I love the because my Doctor Who was John Pertwee. That was my real era.
Oh, mine was Tom Baker, I think it was. with
Oh,
the Perk.
okay. What I
Yeah.
liked about the John Pertwee era was it was all based on Earth, so it wasn't
Yeah.
on different planets. So you'd have the shop dummies coming out of the shop window, just coming to life. The Autons, I think they were,
Oh.
and it made it more scary because you'd you'd look at the shop dummies the next day going to school and think, I hope they don't come to life.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. And the Cybermen. Oh my god.
And
They
the
used to freak me
Cybermen
out.
and the Sea Devils and things like that.
Shepherd's Travels. Thank you for that donation, sir. That's a beautiful thing. Wow. That's cool. Oh, and this one. Do you know what? I've never seen this. The Blob.
The Blob. No, I
It
don't
was a
think
big thing in the 50s or 60s, wasn't it? I've seen clips of it, but I've never seen the whole thing.
Was
And you know
Michael
what?
Caine in that? Was Michael Caine in that one? Because he
Was
did
he?
a number of
Bloody
really naff films. He just didn't turn them down.
Good.
And
Everyone should have their share of naff films, shouldn't they?
well, I've done plenty of naff films, not films, naff things.
Yeah, but it's true. No, everyone should have a multitude of stuff. I mean, some of the stuff appeals to people, whether it's naff in your eyes, or
Yeah,
great
exactly.
to someone else. But one of them, I remember seeing this film. Excuse me, and it had the very talented, beautiful guy who was in Mork and Mindy. Do you remember? I forget his name. Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Rob used to love watching Robin Williams. Mork and Mindy as well as a kid. Used to be fascinated by that stuff. But he done. You can watch it probably on YouTube somewhere, and I've seen it a few years ago. And he narrated this 1 hour episode of all of his old sci-fi films. And when he was talking about all of his films, one of them was The Blob. And another one that he mentioned that, which my dad, if you're watching now, Dad, you're going to be grinning now. My dad actually went to a cinema and watched this old black and white sci-fi film called The Tingler. Now, do you know what they'd done? The film The Tingler, what they'd done is they went into the cinema and they wired up not all, but some of the seats with electric shocks. Certain parts of the film, they was fully able to literally shock people. And of course, they'd done it on key parts of the film. So you were sat next to someone and they literally went, ah! It would literally inspire others to follow suit. So
they're not allowed to do that now. You can imagine.
But that's a true story. If you don't believe me, ever Google look at it. The film The Tingler, they actually done that in cinema. Now, I'm hoping that we got some American guys still watching now who would categorically confirm what I just said. Because, can you imagine it though? I mean, like we said earlier about the gall of some of the things like Love Thy Neighbor and being offensive. But to actually electrocute people in the cinema, which they've paid for, to receive a treatment like that. But they probably went, "Oh, it's all part of the thing." Ha, brilliant. That was how it was then. Now I'm going to sue them now. That is how it's changed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, bloody bonkers, man. Absolutely. Here we go. Look, Nanu, Walking Mindy. Yeah, 100% jalapeno chorizo. I love some of his names as well. Do you get them on yours?
Yeah. Fantastic.
Some of the names are really awesome, aren't they? I love that name. But yeah, oh my god, yeah. This lot. Someone's put 220 volts.
I don't. Yeah.
The defibrillator. Oh my god, yeah. Can you imagine putting a defib on there and just shocking someone? Oh my god. But yeah, honestly, dude, we could literally be here for hours. Do you know it's gone 11 o'clock? I think we should probably wrap this up now.
Oh yeah, I bet it. I've got an interview at 10:30 tomorrow, so I could get myself into some shit.
Unwind, ready for some our time for ourselves, and yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah, it's been great, man. I mean, literally, we could just talk for years, pretty much. We probably could actually, but you know, the time has come, as Frank Sinatra once said. We face the final curtain for now, and don't worry, people, because Richard's ban will be gone soon, and he will be back. It's going to be sometime next week, isn't it, sir?
I'm hoping it's Tuesday or Wednesday, and the good news I can tell you now I should be probably the first video back will be an interview with Neil Oliver and myself.
No way. Oh, good job, sir. Yeah, I've been watching some of his stuff lately, and I couldn't believe it because I remember seeing him on TV. Was he doing some geography stuff or history stuff or something? I can't remember.
A program called Coast.
Coast, that's it. I remember the voice. It was the voice. I'm trying to. I know it's something to do with history or geology or something, but no, it's good to see him speaking out anyway. And I hope
he's on.
He's not going to be exposed to be one of those Russell Brands who are paid on position. I hope to God he isn't. But
I don't think so.
Good work for getting him on there. And yeah, well done there, mate. It's brilliant news. Good work, because it's very difficult to approach people and for them to find slots and to be readily available to do it for free as well. I mean, it's really good. No,
we're recording it on Monday. Fingers crossed, nothing happens. And then hopefully,
oh my God,
Wednesday,
we don't know, do we?
When I'm back, that will be probably so it's a nice sort of return with somebody like Neil Oliver.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's going to have to be really tread carefully with the questions and what he says. I mean, maybe, well, you're going to anyway. Give him the old heads up.
Pre-recorded, so if it's too grim, I'll just edit it down.
Yeah, I think it's keywords. I mean, I even thought this is how crazy it's got on YouTube. Rather than saying, I mean, I might even get in trouble saying 2020 too many times because the algorithm is no fault. So you could say, do some mathematics to equate to 2020. That's how crazy it's got that we feel that we need to consider talking in code.
Yeah.
Because of the way it's going. So yeah, my fear is to anyone who's going to be interviewing anyone, please make sure that they don't say loads of keywords. I mean, I already know Richard well enough from watching his content that he's not going to be saying certain things which the YouTube algorithm does not appreciate regarding their terms and conditions. So yeah, that'd be my advice to anyone wanting to do this. Make sure that your guest has the heads up that they can't be saying certain words, because I do feel it could happen that if a certain amount of words are said in a certain amount of time, it's not a person like me and Richard would like to see. It's a computer just says no, boom, banned, stopped. That simple. And you can't even retort or retaliate in any which way, shape or form, can you? You just can't do anything. So that is one of the reasons why I decided to get Richard on here, to literally still talk on YouTube, even though you're banned. I had to check on it to make sure it was going to be okay. And yes, it's absolutely okay. As long as it's not on your channel, it's absolutely fine. And we haven't said anything untoward. And look at that. We're returning to how we started. The guy is going to disappear
into the dark, you know, back out there and make my way into whatever land it is.
Do you know what? You just reminded me of this. Crazy. Clears out on the
I have a done.
Have we get a beard? Honestly, the outtakes, I couldn't have handled the outtakes being on set.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Bonkers. Absolutely bloody bonkers. But yeah, honestly, guys, it's been a blast. I really do appreciate everyone taking the time to donate as well. I mean, like I said, we're going to split everything 50-50. Once it goes through, I'm going to add it all up and I'm going to fire it over to Richard when it's all done and dusted. And yeah, that's all good. And everyone who's put some wicked stuff into the chat, it's been brilliant. It really, really has. And like you guys watching on the replay who are catching up because you can't watch this live, I've enabled the replay chat so you can see what's been going on. And yeah, it's been awesome. It's been something different, a bit of a break away from all of the rest of it. So yeah, for a couple of hours at least, we've been filled in with what's been going on and we've had a bit of a blast. And you've only got to look at how serious Richard is right now. He is going to disappear into the night very shortly. How's it going, man?
Thank you, my friend, for letting me come on your wonderful show. It has been marvelous.
Jolly good, old boy. Absolutely spiffing, sir. Good God, man.
I say,
it's absolutely bloody. It's awesome, man. Oh my God, we got another. You guys are wicked. And Lockie, thank you for that donation, sir. Anne, sorry, lady. I always said sir then. Do you know what? That 8% odd is absolutely starting to work magic.
Excellent.
Good God. Brilliant. So, yes, everyone, thank you ever so much. And we will endeavour to get Richard back on the channel, or indeed maybe on Richard's channel one of these days. But whatever you say, it's going to happen at some point. We're going to be chatting again because it's awesome. Richard's a lovely guy. I'm sure you know that by now. And I want you guys to wish him all the best, and he will be back. I don't want to say see you next Tuesday, but we're going to be seeing Richard shortly.
Absolutely. Should be there.
So there we go. So do you want to say anything before we shoot off, sir?
No, nothing. No, yes, of course, of course. Thank you so much. Oh, look at this. I can't go like this. These are some awful glasses. There we go. Thank you so much, Darren, for hosting such a brilliant show. It's been a hoot sitting here in my kitchen. Most people don't get to see me in my kitchen because I'm normally either upstairs or downstairs. So I've sorted out the laptop and the little silly camera.
Limited edition, sir.
Yeah, but there you go. The old S has made an appearance. Bless it.
It's beautiful.
And it's been fantastic. Thank you to all the audience who've been so very kind and welcoming, and you know, and all those amazing donations as well. I didn't expect that. And yes, so just got to get through the weekend. Remember to wrap up your phone, stick it into a fire near you.
Yeah. Get your SIM card out and get your old phone sorted out, guys. Go to a shop, pay cash, get a pay-as-you-go SIM card, chuck a tenner on it, and just write down some phone numbers, important phone numbers as well, and use those. Top tip of the day, all free, all good in the hood. So, yeah, have a lovely weekend, sir. And
you, Darren,
getting the content done. So when you're up and running, you can literally just press the fire button and roll it out. And yeah, we'll be catching up at some point in the near future. So, sir, I'm sure I meant to say. So, yeah. So it's good night from him. And it's good night from him.
It's goodbye from him.
Yes, exactly. Right. Take care, guys. We'll see you later on. And don't forget, stay funky.
Stay funky.